The Resistance is about to launch a major offensive against the Intergalactic Empire. In preparation for this, we have captured several battle-grade starships. All we lack are the essential power sources for these formidable craft, Klystron pods. The Resistance would like to commission you, Captain, to retrieve these pods from the Empire's stockade planets. Many of the pods are stored deep beneath the planet's surface and are heavily protected by batteries of limpet guns powered by a nearby nuclear power plant. By firing shots at the power plant, these guns can be temporarily disabled. The more shots fired at the nuclear reactor, the longer the guns will take to recharge, allowing you to slip past their defenses. Warning: should you fire too many shots at the reactor, it will become critical, giving you just 10 seconds to clear the planet before it is destroyed. Remember, we need those pods. Do not leave the planet without one. Of course, if you have retrieved the pod and feel like wasting the planet, the Resistance will reward your efforts. Once you have retrieved the pod, proceed directly to low orbit where you will jump to the next stockade. Intelligence reports indicate that further into the enemy system, they have engineered planets with reverse gravity and something even more deadly. This is Thrust Plus Platinum Edition. This is an extremely well-designed and fun homebrew game. It also has one of the best opening musical scores of any game I have ever played. A truly catchy tune. It is my understanding this version supports numerous controllers, including an Atari 2600 compatible foot pedal controller. You have been tasked with recovering pods off of faraway planets before you run out of fuel and before the planet goes nuclear. Your ship, whose design seems to borrow from asteroids, rotates in all directions, allowing you to shoot in all angles. The difference here being you have to contend with the relentless pull of gravity. Therefore, you must counter that force by using the game's namesake, thrust. You have to be careful with the over-application of thrust because you do have a limited amount of fuel. Your fuel collection is cumulative, meaning your fuel does not reset after the completion of a level. So once you run out, the game is over. You earn a new ship every 10,000 points. Thrust Plus is a single-player game. Along the planet's surface and within caverns, there are nicely placed fuel drops. In order to retrieve the fuel canisters, you must maneuver your ship above the fuel and use your tractor field by pressing back and forth on your joystick controller. This also activates your shields. Similarly, to retrieve the pod, you must maneuver over the pod, use your tractor beam, while also using thrust. The planet is laden with tactical security robots that constantly fire torpedoes toward you. You have the choice to either destroy them by firing your torpedoes or use your shields to avoid being destroyed. You can also fire at the nuclear reactors. Doing so will temporarily disable the security robots. However, firing too many shots at the reactor will cause it to go nuclear, leaving you with 10 seconds to flee the planet. If you destroy the reactor and escape the planet with the pod, you will be nicely rewarded with a generous bonus. When towing the pod and attempting to destroy the reactor, you have to be careful, since your fire can hit the pod with the resulting explosion destroying your ship. With the pod in tow, neither the pod nor your ship can touch any of the walls. However, unlike your ship, the pod can pass through the reactor. This is a bit of a break because maneuvering with the pod can take a while to get used to. This game is generous with checkpoints, which I was not expecting, so when you lose a ship, you may not have to start over at the beginning. Once you surpass 6 levels on the easy setting, the gravity reverses. This is sort of like turning your world upside down. This is one place where the game is a bit unforgiving. By the time you get to this point, you may be down to your last few ships. It can be quite challenging to learn reverse gravity. Run out of ships? No problem, just start over from level 1 until you get it right. There are 5 game variations that adjust the difficulty, but personally I cannot imagine intentionally increasing the difficulty. This is already a difficult game to master. The game boasts 5 different variations which can be chosen using the game select switch on your console. The right difficulty switch toggles between NTSC and the PAL version. Over on highscore.com website there is one record listed, expert/A SWLOVINIST, 15,000 points. The game is clever, it has polish, and again is extremely fun. You have to remember, the Atari 2600 is an extremely limited hardware design. Its greatest limitation is its lack of memory, and what the homebrew community and the original Atari programmers had to do was to be creative to work within these limitations. And it is exactly what Thrust Plus programmer Thomas Jentz has done. Hope I got that right. This is one of my favorite homebrew games on the Atari 2600, and I highly recommend it.